first webinar will be from Ms. Marie Roux, who's going to talk on Power BI, a tool for data visualization. Marie Roux is the Manager of Research Impact Services at Stellenbosch University Library. Just some household rules. You may put your question in the chat and put your hand up if you do need to answer a question. So we welcome Marie Roux, and she's going to speak to us on Power BI. Over to you, Marie.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, and thank you very much for the introduction, Hyla. I just want to welcome you all from my side as well. Also, those, those from external universities, we are also glad that you can attend. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and start the session. So, as you know, we're going to talk about data visualization with Power BI, with Power BI, a tool for data visualization. Sorry, my slide title is not totally correct, actually. So yes, I'm going to give a short introduction, and then we're going to talk about the different aspects of Power BI, the desktop, the service, a little bit about the workflow, and some other basic concepts that's used in the tool. And then we will, of course, go on towards the online demonstration. So I'm not going to focus long time on the theory and the background. We would rather like to spend most of the time on the demonstration aspects. So yes, let's just begin with this. So yeah, I just want to say I'm not an expert in Microsoft Power BI. We've been using it for about 2 years, I think. And it's only a piece of my work, so it's not that I'm an expert in this tool. There are many other experts also on our campus, but we can show you where to start and what the functionality of the product is, and then we will I will show, of course, some basic visualizations and all the ins and outs of using it. So yes, the reason why we started with doing a workshop on Power BI at our campus is because it's part of the Microsoft Office 365 subscription, or section of it. Not the full Power BI is available, but we have access to it. And the use of the desktop is, of course, free. That's for everybody, even though if you don't have a Microsoft Office subscription, that will also be the case as far as I know. And then also the good support that's available for all the Microsoft products. There's tutorials and guides and workshops that they present, etc. So it's really a very good support that's available. And I just want to click on this link that our section for information governance has on the Power BI applications that they use. We're not going to look at applications today, but our information governance uses Power BI for making all the stats of the university available. So here's a few of the applications. For some of it, we need access to ask access for others are just free to use. But as soon as it's on an application that you need to share with others, then you do need the Pro license. And here are the guidance on how to get a license for Power BI. And it's not expensive because we are already part of the Microsoft 365 subscription. It's not, the yearly fees are very low, so it won't be a problem for you to get that. It's about, I think it's less than 2,000 Rand a year, so it's not a lot of money. That's now for Stellenbosch users, of course. I just wanted to make you aware of that. Right. So let's continue. So I hope you all, if you want to follow online or to follow the demonstration, I hope you were able to download the desktop. With a Power BI desktop, you can connect to your data. You can even clean your data also in the desktop and transform it and make changes wherever you want to make changes. And you can create a data model then as well. Then you will be able to create visuals. We will look at charts and graphs and other visual representations of the data, and then you create a report with these visuals that you've created on one or more report pages. We will create quite a few pages to see how that works. And then you can, after you've created those reports, you can share it with others by using the Power BI service. So that is how it all works. The desktop, you won't be able to share from your work that you've done in the desktop. You can just download it, export it to PDF and things like that, but not sharing it. So when you want to share it and do other things like embed in PowerPoint and things like that, then you will need to publish to Power BI service, the online part of Power BI. So we will talk about that a bit later as well. Okay, here is now the next step is to talk about Power BI service. So that's a collection of software services and applications and connectors that work then together to help you to create and share. The focus is on the share. And if you're in a business, it can create business insights and things like that. And the Microsoft Power BI service, sometimes also referred to as Power BI Online because it's the online version. It can then it's the software as a service part of Power BI. So here you can also create dashboards and to display certain tiles of your data, and the dashboards and the reports connect to the data sets that you've used and or bring all the relevant data together in one place. So that's the idea of the service. And we will go through all of that during the demonstration so that it will make more sense as well for you. So you can see I've put in some sources from that you can also click through to when you receive the slides afterwards with more detail on everything. So I'm just giving a quick overview of how it all fits together, and then you can read further on your own in your own time as well. Right, so this slide just shows you a bit of the comparison of what you can do in a desktop and the service, and which are the things that you can do in both. In the service, in the online part, you can also create reports and visualizations. There's an edit button, and it looks basically the same as in the desktop. So you can also do further editing there if needed. So you can see in both, you can create visualizations, report, there's security, there's filters and bookmarks, etc. So in the desktop, you can work with many data sources. You do the transforming work as well by cleaning your data and things like that. You can do the modeling in the desktop. There's also measures and calculated columns and things like that available, themes, and then of course to work together with, we're not going to look at Python and R and so forth that can also integrate, but that's also possible. The service, on the other hand, you can work with some data sources. It's not that easy to work with many data sources in the service. So it's better to actually, when you have many data sources, to start your work in the desktop rather. You can create dashboards only in the service, in the online part. You can't do that in the desktop. You work there also with applications and workspaces. So the workspaces is where all your work puts together. So I work in two workspaces. You will always have my workspace, that's your personal one, but we also have a library one where we work together on certain things, and that's then a separate workspace. So then, and of course, like I've said, the sharing possibilities is quite good in the service part. You can do data flow creation, paginated reports, RLS management, gateway connections, things like that. So we're not going to go into all of that because some of it is a bit more advanced. So we will only look at the basic aspects. Okay, the next slide, just a little bit about the workflow. We will look at this in detail while we work on in the demonstration part. You first will get your data and create the visualizations and reports in the desktop. Then you publish um, um, to the online service. So this is actually a step that's missing in this visual here. You publish it to Power BI service, and then you can create dashboards and create applications and also share with others. I just want to say a bit more. Oh, we will get a bit later to the applications, then I can say more about that. Yeah, and then of course you can work with your data after that and analyze and monitor it, etc. So now just a few basic concepts. You all know, I assume, what a visualization is, or a visual is a type of a chart built by Power BI designers. The visuals display the data from reports and datasets. They can be highly interactive. What's meant by interactiveness is when you can see more data when you hover on an item. So you don't always have to have um, with with the data points indicated, because it sometimes get cluttered. So when you hover on an item, you can see more data. You can open certain aspects and highlight it. You can filter and so forth. So we will all show that as well just now. And yeah, like I said, filtering, highlight and change, etc. When you That's what it means with interactiveness of a visual. And here you can also go to the source afterwards and look at end user basic concepts. That's the basic concepts that we are talking about now, a bit more in detail if you need to. So then a data set is the container of data. That is the data that you have, the original data that you upload or connect to Power BI. We're going to work with Excel files, but it can also be other databases. There's a lot of types of files and databases and systems that you can connect with. And we will also show you all. I will also show you all that options when we start with the desktop. The data set are managed by the designers of a visualization. So you that work with the data will be the designer. All right, so now this is an example of a dashboard that you will build in the service, in the online part of Power BI. So it's a single screen. It's only a single screen. You can't do different pages with it. It's a single screen with specific tiles that you've chosen from your reports or your visuals that you've built that you want to display on one single screen. And it can include anything. It can include text, graphics, visuals, any visual that you have built already in the report. A dashboard collects you with um, you collect most important metrics and to tell a story or answer a specific question. The content, as I said already, the content will come from one or more reports or one or more data sets that you have available in Power BI. And here you can see on the left-hand side here, they call this cards in Power BI. So I will show you how to build the card as well that you can then use in in the dashboard. It's nice to highlight certain numbers in that way. Okay, this is an example of report. This is actually, it looks very much like one of the examples we will work with today. Not totally, but some of the same type of graphics. It's one or more pages of interactive visuals, text and graphics that make together up with a single report. You can page through the different pages. And it's usually based on a single data set, but not always. The ones we're going to build today aren't a single data set. It's different aspects and different data sets. So that doesn't matter so much, but I think it's usually in the business world, you will have this very one big file with a lot of data in it. And then you will use that one data set to build your report. The designer organizes the report pages to address then a central area of interest or answer a single question. So we have built a library statistics dashboard. What we call a dashboard is actually a report in Power BI for showcasing our basic statistics of the library. And there we have these different pages. I think I can quickly show it later to you. About 6 pages, I think, with everyone a theme, a specific theme, and it's like the collection and the lending, the circulation of books, the visits to the library, whether it's online or in person, with those type of pages that then you can flip through and see by theme all the data that's displayed. All right, and I must say, as I learn more with presenting these workshops, I think we need to do a lot of changes in that dashboard of ours. We can make it a bit better. Okay, so application. We're not going to look at applications today, but I just want to explain what it's about. This is a way for designers to bundle and share related dashboards and reports and data sets together. So I can give an example of what we do at Stellenbosch. They present our statistics of the whole university with different Power BI applications. Sometimes you need access to it, and then you also need a Power BI Pro license to access it. Because not all the data is viewable to the public. But for those that with the data that's more for internal use, you will have to get access to it. So that's how in our case with the library statistics, we just generate a public web page with the data on it, because it's not sensitive data. Anyone can view it, and it's shared via our library web page. But in other cases, if you want to keep the data secure and not have it public available, then you need to build the application and only give certain people access to it who needs the access, if that's clear. So yes, that's a bit about applications, but you can also, if you need to work with applications, you can read further on your own on the Microsoft website about that. We're not going to look at that bit today. All right, so that is basically all I wanted to say via the PowerPoint today. Very short. So we will go over to the demonstration now, but I just want to alert you on these learning resources that I've added to the PowerPoint that you can see afterwards when we share the slides with you. The Microsoft page is a very comprehensive page where you can learn everything about Power BI. Then there's also just a free data camp and a free Coursera courses that you can also try to take to learn more about Power BI. Okay, so I'm going to close. Sorry, I don't know. Yeah, I'll close the PowerPoint now and open my Power BI desktop. I assume there's no questions at this point, or
Marie, there's no questions at the
okay,
moment.
thank you, Hela. I think I just want to say at this point as well, I'm not sure if people are following, will be following online as we with their own to work with me while I demonstrate. If you experience big problems, then rather keep it for afterwards. Then I can connect with you one by one, rather to take to look at the issues, because we want to rather go through it all. But of course, if there's any general questions or a quick question, you're very welcome to ask. You can also interrupt me while I demonstrate. But if it's real technical issues or so, it will be better to try to sort it out afterwards. Thank you for understanding. Okay. So if you open your Power BI desktop, if you have downloaded that, you will see an open screen like this. If when you open the desktop, you can see I have quite a number of ones that I've been working with before, because of the library dashboard that we work with, but also with all the training I do, but also I also generate bibliometric reports in Power BI for researchers. And that is also part of this list that I have here. So yeah, you will see here in the middle, I think everyone will have this when they open the Power BI desktop, is an introduction to Power BI. Very nice to click on that if you're new and go through this short introduction to just understand also the whole concept. So you can see it also do the different, it's just this, the flow that it shows here on the image. Okay, but what I'm going to do now is just open a new blank page so that we can start building our visuals there. So I'm just clicking on new report, and it opens this blank canvas page then for you. If there's areas that you can also zoom in from your side, make it bigger from your side. If I work on items that's small, so I'm not going to zoom in from my side. So you will need to do that from your side if you need to. Okay. Okay, so the first thing, I'm just going to explain some of the tabs and the layout first. So you will see here at the top are the main tabs. It's a home page. From the home page, you will get your data, connect with data. This is just a quick one to Excel workbooks. There's other options. You can even enter data manually. I don't think many people will do that. And then I can also work with some of my recent sources that I've worked with. Then you can transform data. I will show that as we upload a file, but you can also go back and transform it here. Then there is a button for new visual, but we usually just work from these visual options here on the right hand side. You can insert a text box and more visuals, etc. So I think Copilot is also a paid service, so I'm not going to focus on that today. It's a bit of a a tool that helps you generate things more automatically, a bit of an AI related type of thing, but I'm not going to focus on this at all today because it's also a paid service as far as I can understand. Okay, let's just, okay, now I first want to show you the other tabs here at the top. As we work, I will show you how everything works. I just want to quickly just um, give a quick overview. With insert, you can add a new page here, but you can also add a new page here below. I'm just quickly going to do that so long, but you can do these things also here from the top under insert, more visuals, new visual. More visuals will go to, you can also click here on the three dots here to get more visuals. It goes to lots of other types of visualizations that are some you also have to pay for, some are free, but I will also show that a bit later while we work with the data. Then you can also insert, if you already have data here, you can insert questions and answers. That's quite a helpful tool. I will show you that. And key influencers, a narrative of your data, a paginated report, things like that. We're not really going to look at the Power Platform today, but you can also insert these types of elements, a text box, buttons, shapes, images, etc. So you can do anything with your report. It's not only a visualization or a graph. You can add any other data and shapes and images and build a nice look and feel for your report. All right, and then under modeling, I'm also not going to stand still on this for very long, but I will also show you some aspects of this, not in this view, but here under relationships. But you can only do that after we've uploaded the data. Under view, you can work with colors. This is quite important. You can change your color themes here. There's lots of options, but at this point, while we are here, I just want to upload the JSON file for the SU, the Stellenbosch University colors themes. I have distributed that yesterday also to you guys. So if you want to do that for the Stellenbosch people that's attending, you're welcome to do that. So I'm just going to browse for themes here. And then it opens up my file where I was last time, the Power BI file that I have, and there is the JSON file. So I just click open, and then it automatically opens up and it's successfully added. So if I had already visualizations here, it would have immediately now changed to those because I've just uploaded it. There is the colors now for this report. It immediately assumed that I want to work with that colors now. I don't even need to choose it now. It is automatically the colors for this report now. Okay, so that's now the colors, but you can see there's also quite a number of other themes that you can choose. You can also customize your own themes and create new themes. And there's a theme gallery that will take you to the online to the web, and where you can also choose other themes. So there's quite a large display of that. What I want to now just show also is here under page view. It's quite nice to fit to width here your page, because then it opens a bigger canvas. You can see what happened now. When I fit to page, then it's a small canvas in the middle, but when you fit to width, it makes a nice big canvas for you with the whole width of your screen, and that's quite helpful to be able to build a few visuals on your page. You can also switch to mobile layout. That in that case you will just need to redo your design to fit in the visuals in a mobile layout. I will also click on that later again so that we can show how that works when you have visuals built already. Okay, I'm not going to look at any of the others here. Under optimize, I also don't work with that at the moment, so I'm not going to go into that. And then, of course, you have the help page. Most of these will take you to the web page for Power BI, and with the training videos, guided learning, other documentation, etc. But I just want to go here to examples, so you can get your sample data here as well. So this is sometimes useful when you just want to play around and want to get to learn, to know Power BI, then you can use that sample data and then work with that. And there's also sample reports that you can view and see how people are building their reports. Okay, right. So that's just a quick overview of the tabs at the top. Here at the left-hand side, I'm going to show you these only after we've uploaded some data. The same with the visual options here on the right hand side. I want to start to upload the data now so that we can start working with it and show you some of the other features. Okay, so under get data, if you go there, you can just click on Excel workbook or directly there on Excel workbook if you are uploading an Excel file. But there's also lots of other options: text, data flows, semantic models, web, etc. But if you click on more here at the bottom, you will actually find even more options to work with. Oh, that now my screen is frozen. It's back, hopefully, luckily. So if you click on all, it's just all the options, a long list of things you can work with. If you click on database, it will show all the types of databases that you can work with. Here's Access, Microsoft Access as well, etc. Lots of others. Then Fabric and Power Platform, Azure, all those things. But if you click under File, just want to show you, you can also work with a SharePoint folder, and that is what we do. No, sorry, I want to, that's only a folder. If I click under Other, you also get SharePoint lists. You can work with SharePoint lists as well. But let's just go back to File. I just want to mention that the statistics, library statistics that we do, we put it on a SharePoint site, the actual Excel spreadsheets that we work with. And then we connect it to Power BI, but it's connected from SharePoint. So what then happens is that as soon as you update the Excel file, it automatically updates to the visualization in Power BI, and that is very helpful. You don't have to build anything over again. You just enter the new data, click refresh on Power BI desktop, and the new data is uploaded. And so that is very helpful. You don't have to, when you add data, it's a very easy process. Okay, but it's also a very manual way still. It's not directly connected to any databases or tools that's automatically getting the data into Power BI. There's also options for that, but we do it at this stage in a Excel with format that's is still quite manually. Okay, let's just do now some of the uploads. I'm going to first upload this file, new circulation, going to work with the circulation of books numbers from 2017 to 2021. And this data, none of this library data is sensitive data, so we share it with everybody. So that's why I also shared this with you. So when this uploads, you can see that it says in this case, it won't be in all the cases, but in this case, there's a table and a sheet. Now, why this is because the data that I have here, we transform to a table. So it's better to work with a table in Power BI. It's easier to sort and work with the data when it is in table format, but it's no problem if it's a sheet, just a normal sheet as well. So, but in this case, both of these will have the same data in it, but I'm going to choose the table rather. Then as soon as you open it, I just want to click on the other one, you will see it's the same data. There's nothing different with the data. It's just the table formatting that has been done in this one. Okay, so first, it's always, you can just, if you know the data is correct, you can just click on load directly here at the bottom, but it's always good to just first click on transform data, because then you first have a look at your data that you're uploading, and you can make some changes if necessary. In this case, you can see the headings of the columns are correct. Everything's correct. There's nothing that looks strange. It's all fine. So in this case, I will just click on close and apply because it's all correct. But if you see there's no headings, the headings doesn't come which show up correctly. We will have examples of that later on. Then you can make changes, and sometimes the headings of the columns goes to the first row. It's just how your Excel files are structured. So, sometimes that happens. So then you click here on this table button here in the middle and say use first row as headers. That's very important. Your rows, your columns need headers. Otherwise, it's difficult to work with the data. So that's just something to remember. If your spreadsheet comes up here and there's no names for the columns, it goes to the first row. Then you can just click that button. There's also a lot of other things you can do here. You can remove rows. Sometimes your data uploads incorrectly. There's one example that I will show you later, that there's extra columns that's entered, and then you have to delete those, otherwise it show up in all the data that you work with, that there's these empty columns. So things like that you have to keep an eye out for. In this case, you can see there's no empty rows, there's no empty columns. This is important. Okay. But in this case, I'm just quickly going to click on close and apply, and then the data will be uploaded. You can see it's still working here in the middle, and just wait for it until it uploads. Okay, so there it goes. Now you will see here on the right-hand column that's here on the right-hand side of the screen, your data area here is now highlighted. It's open, and the table has been uploaded here. So if I click on that arrow there, it will show you all the columns of that specific table, and that's what we're going to work with now. But the first thing you do, sometimes if your files are named in another, it brings up the name of your file as well, but in this case it didn't. So it's very good to, the first thing you do, to click on these three buttons here. There's lots of options that you can do here as well, but click on rename and give your data source a name here, or otherwise later on you don't know what's what. So this is circulation. So I just want to name that correctly, my first thing I do here. Okay, and then it's ready to start to work with. You will see when it's a number that's that with those columns that have numbers in it, whole numbers will have this sign next to it. And that's also something just to take note of. The other ones will be text. This is the branch libraries and the months. This will, but the others have the number sign next to it. If you click on, say, for example, here the number of circulation, this tool here at the top will come up. It's called column tools. So here you can change decimals, whole numbers to other numbers, things like that, if you need to make changes. In this case, I will show that later on after we've uploaded it, we drag and drop the data to the canvas. What sometimes happen, we like to have with 1,000 separators, we like to have a space and not a comma, but in this case, somehow, when you click on the comma here, it will give you the space and not a comma. That's just something we've figured out, but I will show that later. All right, but first, I'm going to now start to build the first visualization. Now, what we want to do now, let me just see. I'm going to build a cluster column chart like this one here. You will see here's all the different types of visualizations, a number of them. It's not very complete. That's why we can search for other visuals as well. But all the basic ones are here. So I'm just going to click on clustered column chart. And now you can see here at the bottom you can now drag and drop your data to these fields. So it's the x-axis, the y-axis, the legend, what you want in the legend, things like that. So that's just important. Sometimes you can just drag and drop to the canvas and these things will start to build by itself. But then it's like you work with trial and error. You don't always know what happens where. But that's sometimes how you learn as well. But I'm just going to very specifically now decide what I want on the x-axis and the y-axis. So firstly, the year should come to the x-axis. You will see as you build it, the data will show. It won't show up immediately. Just go make that a bit bigger. The y-axis will be the sum of the circulation. So you will see when this is dragged to the y-axis, it will automatically sum it here, sum of circulation. So that's the sum of the years. I forgot to actually look at that data of this. Let's just look quickly at here at the left-hand side. It's the report view, the table view with the data itself. So I just quickly want to show you how we've built this sheet. It's in this format so that the years and the months are, you repeat them all. It's for the engineering library, music library, theology library, all different, and for the different years and the circulation numbers for those different months. The month sort I will tell you later about why that is needed. But yeah, this is how we build this file. It's a good way to structure any file in Power BI to do it in this type of format. I just wanted to quickly show you that. All right, so now the legend will be the branch library. So that I drag and drop to there. So there's my visual now that's basically what I want to do. You can see our main library has the largest number by by far, because the others, some of them are quite small branch libraries. Okay, so I'm happy with this is what I want to display in this visual. I'm not looking at the month here because we're just looking for the totals of the year. I just want to move this a little bit down, a little bit up to also make space. And I'm just going to close the filter pane because we're not going to work with that at the moment. Okay, so that's now the visual, but you can see there's now further formatting that one can do. Things like the title that they formulate like this automatically, and the y-axis title is also not, I don't want to call it sum of circulation, just circulation. So things like that we need to now format. You can also format the colors and everything if you want. So the format tab is here in the middle. You will see the build visual, add data to your visual, and the building of the visualization is the first one here, where you decide what goes where, which visual you want to use. You can now click on lots of the others and see if you can do the same data, with how it looks with different types of visualizations. Not everyone will work well. You can see in this case a pie chart will not work at all. It's too cluttered. So that is how you now can start to play around and see which one will work best. This is also too cluttered with that type of thing. So in this case, we're just going to stick with a clustered column chart and format it. So this is the format your visual tab here under visualizations. And now again, you have two tabs to work with. So first the visual one and then the general one. So this is a bit confusing. In the previous version of PowerPoint, Power BI, it just had one row of formatting options with all of it included. Now you have to the whole time think under which falls which, but it's fine. You will start to get the hang of it. So the x-axis and the y-axis formatting, the legend is on. If you don't want the legend, you just switch it off. In this case, we do need it. You can add grid lines. You can add a zoom slider. In this case, I want to add a zoom slider because of the high numbers here of the main library. You can't really see what's going on here with the smaller libraries data. So if you switch the zoom slider on, it automatically gives you zoom sliders for both axes. I don't want it on the x-axis. I only want it here under the circulation axis. So what you do then is to click on zoom slider again, the down arrow, and then you just switch the x-axis one off, and there you only have it now under the y-axis. And now you can zoom in to those smaller numbers. And this is quite helpful, I think, for those who've attended the Principles of Data Visualization workshop earlier this year. They always say you shouldn't display, say, for example, with make a visualization that looks like this, because all the data isn't shown on the visualization, and so you need always to, sorry, I've used the slider now incorrectly like that. You need to plot all your data on the visual that you want to build, but then you can zoom in and make a separate one, say, for example, the lower parts. But in this case, because there's the zoom slider, that's not necessary. You can just use that and zoom in. All right, so that's just a cool tool that I have here. Then I don't want to add data labels. You will see why. If I do that, it gets too cluttered. you will see you, but I just want to show the option. If you add data labels, in this case, it doesn't work well. But if you click the down arrow, you can also say you want to just add it to certain of the series, or you can also make it vertical. And then it looks a little bit better, but also too cluttered. So that's what's nice of Power BI. You don't have to add data labels, because when you hover on an item, it will show the data for you. But this is then important. The way you share it must be interactive. It won't help to share an image or just a PowerPoint image. It has to be live data, and otherwise you need to have the data labels if that's important. But you can see here it does indicate thousands on the left hand side, so that's not so with such a big giant smash. Now for the legend, I just want to format something under the legend as well. If you go to legend, it's at the moment the position is top left. I want to make it top center rather, and also switch off the title, because I don't have to say now by it's the branch, because we know this is about the branches. That will come in the title at the top. Right, so now I want to also change the title. If I click on this, title is under general, the general tab here under formatting. And there you will see the title. It's on, but I want to change it. I want to take out some of, and also then the capital letters for year and branch. So now I'm happy with the title. It's a circulation. Let's just say to make it clear. Circulation of books by year and branch. And then I'm just going to center it as well. And then you can, of course, work with the fonts and the text color, just making this maybe maroon. And you can make it bold, etc. So you can now play around with those type of things. The same with if you go back to visual and the x-axis and the y-axis, you can also now format the text of those. But I'm happy as it look at the moment. It's not. It looks fine to me. The display units, you can also change to thousands. Oh, it is thousands at the moment. You can see. You can change it. If you change it to none, oh, you will see. Sorry, I'm under the x-axis now. Now we won't want the years to change. We want the y-axis values to display. I don't want it to show up like thousands like that. That's indicate with the K after. I want to, if I choose none, it will show 100,000, 500,000 rather. So that's just how I would prefer it. Now, if you hover, you can also see there's no, and also here, there's no space between the thousands as we like it to have. So now I want to show you, if you click here on the circulation number, you click on that so that it's highlighted, and then you will see this pane opening up. If you now click on this comma, it says it will then use the comma as a thousandth separator. For some or other reason in Power BI, it just then give a space as we want it. So it doesn't give the comma as it indicates here, but it does add a space for you. And it will also show up now in the circulation numbers when you hover, that space between the thousands. All right. So now we can do something even more with this chart. You can add further analysis. So what's available here, if you click on that, you can add a trend line, a x-axis constant line, minimum line, maximum line, average line, percentile line, etc. So what I'm just going to do is to add a trend line. You can see the numbers of circulation have dropped a lot in the COVID time, 2020 and 2021. So that's now what the trend line is about. In the meantime, it picked up again, but this is now old data only up to 2021. The trend line and maybe also an average line. So if you click on average line and click add line, it will add that average line for you. And then you can also, oh, where is that now? Click data label, and then it gives that average to you. What is the average? The number will also come up. So that's quite nice to have if you have this type of data that you want to show. Okay, so I'm going to keep it by that. You can also change the style of that line. So here you will see the style and make it dotted. Then it's with just another style. You can also change the color. Let's make that one orange. So it gets a bit too colorful now. But yeah, that's just for illustrative purposes. Okay, so that's the first. We're spending lots of time on one, but the others will be a bit quicker because I've shown you now a lot of the small detail. Okay, so the next one I want to build here is also, I'm going to build 3 graphs here under circulation with the same data. So now you just click elsewhere on the canvas, just click so that you're out of this visualization and start to build the next one. So I'm just going to add, let's say, in this case, I want to do a stacked column chart like this one.
Marie, sorry to
Yes, yeah,
interrupt. Would it be
yeah.
possible to give the attendees just a comfort break? We're already busy about an hour.
Yeah, I will do that after this first page. I think that will be a good
Okay,
space to do that.
please. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much. We won't be so long. First, I just want to finish another 2 graphs quickly, and then we can have a comfort break. Thank you. All right, so now I'm going to use the month under the x-axis. You will see the data will come now after I've the circulation will go to the y-axis. Now you see it's starting to build. Now we don't, it's just the totals now, just as it is. The sum of all the circulation from 2017 to 2021. But we want to add the branches. So the branch will go again to the legend. In this case, you will see there it's now also the same colors for the different branches like than the previous one. So Power BI do this automatically with assigning the colors. So if you want to change the colors, you can do that. I will show it just now. But now you can see what Power BI does here. It it gives you the top down. The top month is at the top, is first, and then top down. But in our world, we always want to display it from January to December and have it in that chronological order. But it's quite with Power BI doesn't have an easy option to do that. So what you have to do then, that's why there's this month sort column in your data. I just want to go to that table again so that I can show you the month sort column has been done 1 to 12 January to December for each year, because in this way we can now sort it in the way we want it. So if I now click month sort as well, it doesn't show up here yet because you still then need to do a few things, but it's now already included in the data. And if you click here on this more options button, you now have to the sort axis, you go first to sum of month sort. And now, for some reason, it just takes you from December to January. So you have to do another step to go to sort axis, sort ascending. So unfortunately, that's 3 steps that you need to do to get that in the correct order as we like it to have it like that. But in some cases, you will prefer to have it top down. You keep it just like that. But in this case, because we're looking at the months, we do want it like this. All right, so that's just a quick show. You can also here under, if you go to the formatting column, you can, if you click then here on columns, you will be able to change the colors for each branch. So you can maybe, for example, do this maroon for the main branch, and then you have to go to USBL, I think, is the one that was maroon. You make that green. No, it was the other one. Sorry, engineering. Okay. No, both of them are green, but doesn't matter. That's where you will change the columns colors under columns. This will depend from graph to graph. It will, in other cases, it's called a ribbon that you work with, whatever type of data you are working with here. Okay, and then of course you can do the other formatting, the title, the whatever formatting you want to do. I'm just very quickly going to change the title here under general title and also say circulation of books by by month and branch. Right, and also make it just center it. Okay, so I'm happy with this one for now. Then just a quick other graph. I want to just have the totals of the year, the full total, not divided by branches, just the total circulation by year. And with that one, I'm just clicking on the canvas. This one will just be a normal column chart. So this one will have the month in the x-axis. Oh, not the month. That shouldn't be right. The year. Yeah, that's the year that we want there because we're looking at only per year. And the circulation in the y-axis. There you have it already. There's your chart. Very simplistic one, but that's what we want, just the totals per year. And here we can keep it one color because it's just, there's not other dimensions like months or branches or anything we want to do. It's only per year. And so the color can be only one color. It doesn't need to have different colors. We always need to be I'm very careful with how we work with colors. So this is just circulation by year, just changing the title as well and center it. Okay, but I'm going to keep it like that now for the sake of time. And just one, okay, maybe I can do the other two things after the comfort break. So 5 minutes, shall we be back at 10 past?
Thank
Will
you,
that be
Maria.
fine? Thank
Yes,
you.
that should be fine. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much. Okay, it is now 10 past, but I will wait another minute and just make sure everybody's back. Okay, I hope everybody's now settled back at the computers and we can now continue with our session. I want to still show you quite a number of, we will build about 4 pages, maybe 3. We can see how it goes. And then we need to publish to the service so that I can show you what's all the things that's happening there. All right, so now we've got 3 visualizations on this page, but I want to add 2 other things as well for illustrative purposes. The one is slicers. Now, a slicer, I don't really work with filters on the pages. You can also add filters under this pane, but my preference is to work with slicers. It's this item here. It's in the fifth row from the top, slicer. There's also a new slicer new, that I haven't worked with yet, but the old slicer works very easy, so I just continue to work with that one. So if you click on slicer, will open a pane as well. And now you can decide what of this data you want to add with as a way of a filter where people can go and click and see only certain data from these graphs. So you know that all 3 of these graphs are based on um, um, one data set. So this is why it's very nice to, when you work with one data set and to add these slicers. So I'm going to add branch first. So you can see then immediately it shows you the branches that you can choose from. Now you can make it as small and whatever you want to do with it, you can format it further. So what I'm now, you also click on format your visual for the slicer as well. Then the slicer settings, I want to rather have a drop-down list. Then it takes less space as well. So in this case, it's just a vertical list. You can also have a tile list that takes even more space. But I prefer a drop-down in this case. So then you just make it nice and small. And you can then, if you click there, you can also filter by um, specific branch library in this case. Part of the settings is also, I'm not putting a slicer. Oh, the slicer header is on, sorry, because it says branch. That's very important. But under slicer session settings, you can also choose, I want the multi-select. I will show you now how that works. And also select all should also be on the drop down. So there you will see select all, or then you can click medicine and only the data of medicine, the medicine and health sciences library will then show up. And so this is very valuable if you want to just look at certain points of your data. And then if you just click again on select all, it will show all, or you can just do that clear selections. So again, I want to click on music, all the music libraries data will show up. And then if you want to go back, you just click on that button, clear selection, and it goes back to everything. But now it's now a bit hidden here. You can see the text is small. It's like nobody will even notice this block here. So now I just want to go back to settings again and also give it a color so that it stands out. And this you will find under general, the general tab for formatting, and effects and background. And that I'm just going to, not too bright, just something like that maybe. Okay. Hope that is clear, but I will do another one. I also want to do it by year. So now I'm just going to drag over here. You will see now it does, or because I've just dragged and dropped, it will start to generate a visual, but now you can just click on slicer and will go back to the slicer format. For years, it will have different options. So that's how you will see Power BI decide on its own how the data should look for the specific data you choose. So this is quite nice. Now you have a slider. If you go to settings, format settings, there's again the different options. Now you have between, you can also have a vertical list of years, you can have a tile of years, but I want to also do the drop down so that it's the same type of slicer, and just drag it the same size. You can make sure with the lines that that comes up when you drag, that it's exactly the same size. And now you can again go to settings, just make sure it's also that select all is there, and that multi-select is on, and then also on the general effects background, just give it the same color with whatever colors you want to use. So that's just now nice to have those. You can move it also across your canvas wherever you want to put it. It can be at the top, it can be at the bottom, whatever is you want to do with it. I want to put up a navigator still at the top. That's why I'm keeping the top section open. We'll show that now to you. The other thing I just first want to put on the canvas is cards. Now, a card, I think I've shown that while we were looking at the um, um, the dashboard example on the PowerPoint, there was cards. So I want to show you how to build a card. This is so easy and simple and very effective. So card is here, down here. It's also, it seems, a new option. There's other cards, I think. Oh, this one is also card. This one is a new card option that's been made available by Power BI. It also opens up a canvas. Then you can decide, this will be now like it will generate a total of something for you. So in this case, I want to add the total of all this data that we have here of the circulation. You can decide what you want to add, but now you will see the total for everything is 506 Ks. Um, um, but now you can format this further again. And this is what they call a card. It's just one number that stands out that you can also just showcase. So in this case, you go to format again. I don't want to add a title because otherwise I think title is off. Yes, otherwise there will be duplication. Let me just quickly see what else I want to do here. It's either text is fine. I just want to see the layout. You can do lots of things there. You can also do a table or a grid. You can show more than one card as well, etc. So I'm not going to do lots here with the layout. I just want to change the text that's coming up here, but that's not the title, it's just the text. So when you go to this tab here and you see sum of circulation here, that's the data that you've brought in for this card. You can here just rename for this specific visual, this so I just want to say only oh, just click on the right spot here, rename, and then say just rename it whatever you want to call it. Total of books circulated in this case. I just want to call it that so that it's clear. Otherwise, you don't know really what's the sum of circulation maybe. Right, so that's now an example of a card. We can do other cards on other pages as well. Let me just see if there's something else I want to show you under this option. I just want to, at this point of time, also show you a few things here under insert. Just one thing, actually, two things. The Q&A. If you insert Q&A, so what Power BI then does is to generate questions that you can ask from this data. So now you can see that the month sort won't make sense because that's just our own to sort the visual, but there's number of months, total circulation, average month sort, total month sort by year. Those aren't so valuable. So the only 1 year would be valuable, I think, is also the total circulation. And if you click on that, I think it just takes a little bit of time to generate. Then it shows it's very the same than the card that you've just built, but you can, there's other questions sometimes that's also doable. In this case, it's very much the same. So it's just another way in how you will put that up. And you can also then turn this into a standard visual with this button here. And then it shows up exactly a bit like a card would have done. But yeah, and this, I just want to show you this option because in some cases it gives you interesting Q&As from the data that you have. In this case, it wasn't that interesting, but it's a good way to look as if there's something that stands out from your data. The other thing that I just want to see, this key influence tree and things like that, but I want to just click on the narrative as well to say include narrative. No, it doesn't want to do that. Oh, sorry, there it goes. It was just slow. This is where you can also use Copilot, but like I said, that's a paid service. I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to click on custom. And it will also generate a narrative for you based on this data. So here you will see, it will say in 2019, the main library made up about 20% of the sum of the circulation. Yeah, so across all 5 years, the sum ranged between 35 to 147,000. So that's the type of narrative it will generate for you based on the data that you have here. And then you can supposed to be able to format that as well. You see there is the format pane, and you can make it bold, and you can change colors and do a few things with it, and add this also to your page. That's just if you can of course add a text box yourself, insert text box and make up your own narrative if it's needed, because not everything here is maybe how you would like to put it, but it's just nice to show you that Power BI does these things automatically for you sometimes as well, and not necessarily always that it makes sense, everything, but it's a start and you can work from there then. All right, so I'm just going to close this, remove this now. I just want, that was just for illustrative purposes. No, but I'm going to build another page now. We're going to page 2. I will later on add the navigation panel so that we can work with that as well. Okay, here we're going to use Sun Scholar data. I'm just going to go to home, back to home, and say, I'm just going to click on Excel and use the SunScholar continental usage, also from the years 2017 to 2021. And again, I'm going to use the table, click on transform. In this case, there's one thing we need to correct in the transform panel. You will see here these columns for the different years, and there's the continents listed, but the continents that's listed doesn't have a column header. So you will see it just says column 1. So here is now a good example from where you need to make changes. If you right click on that column header, you can click rename. And then I just want to call this continent. That's the name of that column. And then you will see if you scroll down, let me just see. Oh no, there's no extra columns here. These columns are correct. There's no extra rows, so everything looks fine now. You can click on close and apply to add this data to your Power BI canvas. Okay. So now you will again see it just says table 1. It doesn't have a name, so you have to rename it quickly to that we know what we're going to work with. So this is our SunScholar data. That's the views by continent. And there you will see per year and the continents. So this is very straightforward, but I'm going to build 4 different visualizations quickly with the same data. So every time it will use the same data, but with 4 different views. I'm going to just click on continents first. And you can see, because the continents is it's continents, it's the only thing I've clicked, and immediately it starts to build you a map and indicating the continents that's in that map. So that is how in Tableau, for example, if you work with Tableau, you have to have longitude and latitude information in your data to be able to build a map, as far as I know. And here you can just, if you have an institution name, it will build a map for you automatically. If you have a country name, a continent name, anything like that, it will immediately build this map for you. And now you will see when I add the years, the bubbles for each continent will change according to the sum of the views of from those continents. Okay, so now with a few clicks of buttons, you have a world map indicating from where most of the views per year comes of with our SunScholar repository. So you will see it's per year, and again, unfortunately, it doesn't show the space for thousands. So you can, each year you will need to go separately and click on the comma. I'm not going to go to everyone. I'm just going to do 2 of them. Now you will see if you hover, those 2 that I've done has now a space in their thousands for the thousands separator. Okay, so that's just that quickly. And now the only thing I want to do here is to change the title because it shows up strange. The sum of all the years are included there. So I just want to say views by SunScholar SunScholar views by continent, something like that. And I also want to center it. And now you can also change the bubbles. Let me just see, where is that? Yeah, here's the bubbles. You see, that's how with every type of visualization, the options just change automatically here for the formatting. So you can also go to map settings. It's now on the road function. You can have an aerial look, but then you can see then the bubbles doesn't show up. We need to make that a different color. If you use that, you have a dark and a light and a grayscale, etc. But I'm going to keep with this aerial look now, because that's an interesting one. Can also add zoom buttons and lasso buttons. For this here, it is now the zoom buttons. I think that's a good thing to do. Then go to bubbles, and I want to change the color now, make it a bit lighter. Let's see what works. The green doesn't work that well. Orange, it's a bit faded. No, but in any case, maybe white. No, white also doesn't look so good. Let's keep with green. Any case, so it's just you will see because this one for South America is very low, the data there, so it doesn't even show a bubble because it's very low. You will see in the other charts that we built. So Africa, of course, the highest, Asia, Europe, and North America, and other or unknown. There's unknown continents that also sit there. Any case, so that's just a quick map. Then I'm going to use the same data for a ribbon chart.
Sorry, Marie, to
Yes,
interrupt.
it's fine.
There is a question from
Yes.
Ms. Delport. She got an error message
Mm,
stating map and filled map visuals are disabled. To enable them, go to File, Options, Settings, Options, Global
mm.
Security.
I'm not sure. I haven't found that yet. So I will need to look into that afterwards. So sorry about that. I will so she can just is it Miss Delport. I just need
Yes, as
to
Ms.
remember her
Delport.
name, and I will have to look into that and with her and see why that happens on her side. Okay. She can just skip this one then. There's only the one map. So I'm not sure why that happens. I haven't found that problem before. Thank you for that. And sorry, I don't have an answer now. We will have to look at that together. Okay, the next one will be a ribbon. Let's just quickly see what we will do there. Then we will, I'm just first going, here is the ribbon chart. I'm just going to put it up so long and then put in data. The continents will go to the x-axis. Now you will see as I click on each year, the data will change. It will form the ribbons as we go on. And there we go. That's now more or less a ribbon chart. You will see each year represents another color, and then it shows the different ways. Africa is always the highest number, etc. So here with formatting, I'm just going to switch off the legend because this is not necessary. Oh, the legend is necessary. Sorry, we need to indicate the years. But you will see it gives now the sum of each year here, and you can't, it's difficult to change that title, but you can do it again when you go to build visual here, but you have to do it one by one. Under the y-axis, the drop down, and then say rename for this visual. So we want just the year itself and not that it says sum of 17. That's not necessary. So now, unfortunately, every one of those we have to change manually, and just so that only the years come up. We know we're looking at the sums, so we don't want to put that in the legend. Okay, so rename for this visual every time the same thing. Okay, so now it's correct, and I just want to go back to legend, sorry, and say top center, so that those are in the center. And under general, change the title. You want to also say here, we will call it SunScholar views by year. Can still say by continent and year. Okay. And center it. Just to, so that everything's the same. Okay, so that's two of the charts that we've built. Then another two, just for examples. Also exactly the same data. Very quickly, I'm going to do the this one here, the donut chart. And again, continents. And just click them all. Oh, no, this is not correct. You see, this happens. I now did not look at that specific one. It shouldn't be like that. Okay, that's better, no? That's only the years. No, we don't want it like that. Sorry, I'm going to fix it now. The legend now, yeah, the legend needs to be. For time's sake, I'm not going to bother now, but this is not the correct donut chart. You see, this is now what happens when you, I'm just going to start from scratch. When you have to play around and see what works. So let's maybe start with the continents. Yeah, that's correct. And oh, I see now what I've done. The values should also be continents. But that also doesn't look correct, but because it doesn't show the donut correct. I'm just going to see if that's also not correct. But yeah, I don't want to waste time on this now. I will maybe afterwards just let you know what will be the best way to do that, because this one is now not correct. It should show Africa as the highest number. So I think it's still to do with now you have to have that at the oh, there we go. So what we had to do is to add continents also to the details option. You see there, and then all the data there of all the years added. So now you can see it's all everything as a sum, and Africa is at the top. Second place is Asia, Europe, North America. Okay, so that's exactly what I wanted to do here. And this was actually a good example of how you will sometimes need to figure out what should go where. Because if you work with your raw data, you won't immediately will know where with what should go where, and then you need to play around with these values and see what will format the best chart for you. Right, so this is actually good that this happened now so that we could play around a bit. Okay, just again the title I'm going to make a bit better here. It's always the same, so because we're working with the same data. It's just for illustrative purposes to see that there are so many options to do with one set of data. Okay, and then just something I want to show you about how to get other types of visuals as well that's not available in this group here. if you click on those get more visuals, those 3 buttons, it says get more visuals. And here I've referred to this before. You will get a long list of lots of visuals here that's now not included yet, but lots of them are paid for visuals, so with by external companies that has built it. So how the payment will work, I'm not sure. You will be asked to get the invoice or so when you start using it, but there's lots of free ones as well. So I just want to alert you that I want to search for a word cloud one. And now if it says Microsoft, it will most probably be free. I will show you now how to look for that. The others are other companies that has built it. This is for Power BI. So I'm just going to choose this first one that says it's a Microsoft product and just see what it does. So if you click on it, it will show you more information, and then it will here under pricing, it will show you whether it's free or not. In this case, it's totally free. In some cases, it says free with add-ons to be paid for or something like that. So it's not, if it says like this, only free, then you don't have to pay anything. But in some cases, it's free up to a point, and then you in any case have to pay if you want to work with it further. So here, because it's free, I will just add it. It's a nice one to have a word cloud available as well as a visualization option. And there, it's a very small icon, but there it's now included in my list of visuals that I can use. And in this case, I also want to now try to so you again have to add everything. It builds the map automatically, but then if I click on word cloud, it will now generate with that same data for me a word cloud. So you will see again Africa will come up the highest because it's the highest number of just click one. Oh, in this case, I think you can only click 2 other measures here. So I've chosen the 2 years there. Right, so that's just another option. I quickly want to show you how it will look if it's a paid tool. So I'm just going to go to let's just choose this Sankey diagram one. So you can see there's lots of very nice types of diagrams. You can search for ones as well. This is a Sankey one. Here you will see it just say additional purchase may be required. So you're not quite sure what that means, but it's not free. So when you add that, you will also see when you build a visual with it. I don't think we've got the correct data to be able to build a Sankey diagram now. No, you have need very specific data for that. But as soon as you build something with this, it will show you it will show you in any case this where it comes from. It will be branded by the place who developed this specific visual. But we're not going to use that now. All right, so that's just to show you, you can really search for anything by get more visuals. You can here search by category as well. If you've watched the Principles of Data Visualization workshop earlier this year, we've talked about the different types of visualizations. So there's comparisons, correlation, distribution, and you can go and see which ones you can use, and hopefully for free, some not for free. Right. So it's a very nice thing that there's even infographics, narratives, other types of maps as well, etc. Okay. I have asked IT once about buying for the campus more visuals you will see it will then fall under organizational visuals that we've acquired for the organization, but I've never got any feedback, so I will need to try again. Some of those are not very expensive in any case. Okay, so at this point of time, I want to show you how to add the navigator, because what happens when you work with a report like this that has different pages, you sometimes need to it's not so easy to navigate between the different pages when it's in the online format. It is there, but it's not clear which is which. So that's why I now want to add a navigator here at the top of the screen. But first, okay, let me just first insert it. It's under insert and then buttons and navigator. You're right at the bottom, page navigator. You can also have a bookmark navigator, but in this case, we will do a page navigator. So as soon as I add it, it will immediately comes up with the pages that you already have. So I'm just going to build this on this page now, because it's better to build it when you have all your pages, because you have to format it on each different page. It's not automatically on all the pages. You have to insert it on every page. So if it's here, you can now drag it to wherever you want it. You can drag it bigger if you want. But I don't want it to take too much space here at the top. And now you can, of course, also format it. Here is the format navigator immediately open here. You can choose the shapes. This is a rectangle, but you can now choose any other shape. I like the pill shape because it's just a bit rounded. Some of the others are not looking so great when you use it. So let's stick with a pill shape. And then you can also, of course, do lots of other things. We don't want to add a title. That's not necessary. But I can go to effects and also give it a background color, and then that's just in the background. And that it has a background color as well, not in white background. You can add visual borders, shadows, etc. I'm not want to do anything of that now. Under properties, no, under visual style, you will be able to change the fonts, make it bold, maybe. There, it's bold now. Font color you can change, etc. So that's the type of. Oh, and the full. I actually want to make the full that color. Then the other, you see the ones that's not highlighted will have that full color. Okay, so that's the type of things that you can format. The shape, the style, and yeah, so that's actually the only thing I want to do now there. And now you can see you won't be able in the desktop to toggle between them, but when it's online, you will now be able to toggle between the different pages in that way. But now I only have page 1 and page 2 here, so I want to start to give the pages names. So the first one, we know we've worked with circulation stats. The second one, we're working with some scholar stats. So I just want to bring in those names. Okay, so now you see immediately this changed at the top as well. So if you insert a new page now, it will also show up, but it's not named yet, so it just will say page 1. Okay, so just a quick look at that. So now I want to build this third page. I'm going to start to go a bit more quickly now. Because you know the basics now maybe already. So in this case, we're going to upload the library visits one that I've shared with you as well. And do library visits, open that file. And again, the same. In this case, there's only a sheet. Click only on the sheet, click on transform data. And here you will see now it all looks fine as well. I thought there were extra columns. Also no extra columns. Everything looks fine, no extra rows. It's the headings are there. So we can just click on close and apply. And there's the new sheet. Also just quickly renaming it to library visits. Okay. And then we can start to build the visuals. So in this case, I just quickly want to build a tree map. So I'm just going to drag and drop over the library, different branch libraries, and the visits will go to the values. Oh, I haven't chosen. We can drag and drop that over as well. So it shows the visits of each library, each branch library. And now if I click on tree map here, it should show up here. It gives you the tree map of that data. You would have seen in the table that it generated just now, there was a total that it generates. But in the visual, of course, there will be no total because that's not how it's only by branch library. Okay, so that's the tree map. There's not much to format here. We can format the title as always. Go to the format, your visual, general title, just again, library visits by branch. And I'm just going to center it. You can work with a color, change the color, font, etc. This case, I want to go to the visual itself, and the colors are fine. I'm happy with that. I just want to add data labels so that the numbers shows up. Here you will see it works in millions, and that doesn't work well because it shows 2 million for the SU library. Remember, this is now for it's all the years included. It's a total of years. It sounds a lot, but it's a total of a few years. That's why it looks so much. So the millions doesn't work well there. So let's just go display units. And I think this is in millions. So let's rather do it thousands. Then it just looks better. Definitely. Okay. So then now I'm happy with this visual. Then we're just quickly going to do a clustered column chart as well, because we want those years to show up as well. In this one, it was just totals of all the years. This one, I would like to add the years as well. So here, oops, yeah, the x-axis is the library. That's correct. The y-axis will be the sum of the visits, and it automatically generates that for you. So this is already showing the sum then of all those years. But if we now add the year to the legend, it will be displayed in the different years. And here again, you will see the drop, of course, with COVID time. And now we can see, quickly change the title again. Typing incorrectly. Okay, and make that center. And then, of course, you can change the y-axis title as well, because that doesn't look correct for me now. To go to visual y-axis, scroll down to title, and it's on auto, so if you just need to type in what you want it to be, and there it changes then. All right, so that's now, oh, just the legend looks a bit strange. So if we go to legend, I want to make that top center and also take off the title of the legend, because we know it's here's that. That's not necessary to say here's. You can keep it in, not a problem. In my case, I want to take it off. Okay, so that's now two different graphs with the same data as well. Now I just want to show you two quick things that you can insert as well. You can insert a text box. Any of the pages, if you need further explanation, I'm just going to grab some text somewhere just to have some text into that there. Now you can format that, of course, make it a bit bigger so it's better viewable. Can highlight, you can change the color of the text. Oops, you have to first highlight that. Font color, make it maroon, whatever you want to do. You can also, if you go here to format text box, of course, there's always the option to change the background color. So in this case, you go to effects, background, and change the color there. Okay, so that's just an example of how you can add text. You can see all the text doesn't show up, but you can use the scroll button to read the whole thing. So that's also valuable if you want to just add a small block of text and want people to read a bit further about something, but you can add the scroll. It will scroll down so that you can read everything that's available there.
Okay, Marie, there's
Yes.
just a question
Yeah.
here
Mm-hmm.
from uh, Jocelyn.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for a great presentation. If you want to use the created visual, let's say on a Word document, is it possible to copy and paste it to where I want
Yeah.
to use it?
Yeah. That's a good question. We will come with this. We will look at the sharing options and things a bit later on. But you can, let me just quickly, if you hover on this button, sorry. No, it's not. It's when you are in the service part that we will be able to do that type of thing. Um, Here you will only, if it's spotlight, you just highlighting that part. It's nothing to do with copy and pasting or something. So sorry, but what you can do from the desktop, the only thing you can do from the desktop is for downloading and things like that, is to click on File. While we are at that question, is a good place to mention this. File and then export, and if you click on export, there's an export to PDF option, but this will export the whole report. So if you want to only do one visual, then you build a page with one visual, and then you can export it to PDF. But in this case, because we're building different pages, it will put all three pages in the PDF. So that's a bit different, but I will show you just now. This is now the PDF of these that we've built. You see, it also looks quite nice. It's good quality. And what I always do sometimes when I need to use data from here, you can also just snip and sketch. The quality might be lost a bit if you do that. But if you now just want to use that bit, you can also do this and add it to a Word document. But it's not, the quality might get a bit worse, but also you then need to look at which elements you include if it's in a static document like Word or PDF, because you shouldn't then have something like a slider in it, because you can't, it's not interactive. And you have to make sure maybe that there's more data labels, things like that, if needed. So that's just some things that you need to take into account when you want to use Power BI visuals in a Word document. You have to, because that's what we have done also with our library statistics dashboard. We use it sometimes we used it in our self-evaluation report, some of the visuals. So then I had to adopt it, that some of the data labels is shown, that those that we use doesn't have a slider in it, or with, yeah, you just need to think about that then. Because Power BI is it's such a tool for interactive types of data. But when we go over to the service just now, I will do that soon. Then I will show you more options on how to download the visuals as well.
Marie, just a quick
Yeah.
question. Thinking out of the box now,
Mm,
on your text box there, can
yeah.
you include, say, web addresses for more
Yeah.
information?
Yeah. Anything. Yeah. I can quickly add one. Just add that one quickly. Let me just see. There's the insert link. So you can make anything, you can add a hyperlink, insert link. E- uh, just see if that comes up now. Yes, there's a hyperlink now. You will only be able, when you share it in the desktop, you won't be able to click through to it. When you share it on the service, then it will be clickable. All right, good question, thanks. You can also, you can see all these options here. It's just bulleted lists and things like that. So there's custom things that you can also do. So there's quite a few options for customizing this. Now, just very quickly also to add an image. I just want to, sorry, I just want to drag this a bit lower. This one here. I
Coming.
Sorry, please mute yourselves. Uh, Um,
I need to close again. I don't know where.
Sorry, there's someone who could just are talking now. Just mute yourself, please. Okay, add image. I want to add a quickly image as well, just to show you that. There's no image there, so I have to quickly go to image. That's somewhere. That's quickly that one. And now it's inside a box as well. But if you click out of it, it will just show the image, not the box itself. So that's just a way how you can also add images to your screen, to your page. So you can add text and images and make it pretty and whatever you want to do with it. Okay, so now I'm just going to quickly say this is library visits. Okay, so I think I need to stop now here because we need to look at the service and dashboards as well. I added quite a few things, so now I run out of time. I just want to quickly look as if there's what I wanted to quickly show you. It's a sheet that I haven't shared with you, but it's one that's quite nice to show. If you have a lot of columns in a text file, in a Excel file, what to do with that. So I'm quickly going to go back. Where's my Power BI files? Just quickly, it's about the stats about our transformative agreements for open access publishing. That is data for 2023. And I just quickly want to show you that because it has quite a lot of columns and you can then do lots of things with that. And this is an example of the type of data that you might have when you do a survey. and you have those all the columns with feedback, all the different aspects. And in this case, I think, yeah, no, the columns and the rows were also fine. I can just quickly close and apply. So I just want to, I'm not going to build a lot of visuals here because this is only very quickly for illustrative purposes. Sheet 1, I'm just quickly going to rename it to agreements, so that I know what it is. Okay, and then just add a new page quickly. Now you can see here all the columns that's been added. If I open the table view here, you will see, oh, now it's, I have to go to agreements table view. Oh, it's because I haven't built a visual yet of that. In any case, you can see there's the authors, there's journal titles, there's publishers. So you can, it's a lot of data here, and you can build a lot of nice visuals with this data. I've just add values. Oh, you see there, we've got now again the thing of not the correct data. Count of publisher and publisher category. There we are. So yeah, so now you can see how many articles were done with which publisher. So that's quite a valuable one, and then a lot of other data. So in this case, we have so many options. So you will build a visual every time with different data. So here's the estimated discount, also by publisher. I'm just going to oh, no, not the publisher. You see, oh, this is now trial and error again. I'm going to add this under, let's say, yeah, there it shows now the different publishers and the discounted estimated discount value by publisher, for example. Yeah, so this is now lots of different things that we can do with this, lots of columns that's in this specific spreadsheet. So I'm not going to go further here because it's just for illustrative that when you have lots of columns in a spreadsheet and you work with only that one spreadsheet, you can do lots of things with it. So that's, of course, it's easy to do that. I just want to quickly add another card so that we have more cards available when we work with dashboards. So I want to do it here, card, and say the estimated discount as well. There you will see the total of discount, estimated discount for 2023. It's in US dollars. So that's another code. I'm going to keep it white. It looks better for me in white. I'm not going to give. And then I also want to add one under library visits. Just make this image a bit smaller and also add card and say visits, drag and drop to there. And this is now also the total for all the years in this case. Okay, so my the names, the titles of your things should be correct. In this case, I'm now pressed for time, so I'm not going to change something because this won't be very clear that it's the total of all those years that we're looking at. Any case, so I'm now quite happy. I just quickly want to add the navigator everywhere. We haven't done that yet. So just quickly insert buttons, navigator, page navigator. Now you can see all 4 your pages are there. So I'm just quickly going to rename this one as well. Say agreements, although we just have 3 things on it. It's not that much. Okay, so now on this page as well, you need to, I said earlier that unfortunately you have to add the navigator to every page. It's not, and you have to format it differently. If you want it in the same format it on every page as well. It's not automatically formatted the way I had it here. I just want to make this one a bit bigger. But I'm not going to spend time on the formatting now. I only want to make sure that there is a navigator on each page. Just add this one. Oops, no, sorry. Click on the wrong things now. There is one here as well. Agreements, scholar, circulation. So now I'm happy with my report. I haven't saved anything. So if something went wrong now in this whole 2 hours, we wouldn't have had anything. So remember to save. This doesn't save automatically. So you need to, it will recover if something goes wrong, you will get a recovery file, but yeah, it's not like that it saves the whole time in the background. So save, and I'm just going to go to the specific file, research week. You just say final as well, and then now we're ready. Now it's saved somewhere on your desktop, and now you can publish. So for now, I'm not sure of those that doesn't have Pro license, but I think it will ask you to do a trial if you publish to the service. It will always give you that option of starting a trial. But I'm now just going to demonstrate how it will look as if you have access to the service. Publish to Power BI service, and now here you can see I've got other applications and other workspaces as well. I just go to my workspace. In your case, you will just have one workspace because you haven't you don't have access to any of the other if you haven't worked with Power BI before. So now it's published, and you can click on that link to go directly there. So that's the easiest way to go to your specific report in Power BI in the service online. So now it's the first time we get there, and I just need now you will see it's exactly the same report. It says all my pages here, exactly the same things. I have seen sometimes that some of the formatting looks different. In this case, it doesn't look like it. So I don't know why that sometimes happens. It's not often that I've seen it, but today, fortunately, it all looks fine. So, but you can edit here as well. I've noted this before, that when you click here on edit, you will see all the aspects that you've been seeing in the desktop as well. Here you can build the visualizations, you can click on a visualization and make changes and format. So if you come here and see, oh, there's something wrong, I want to make a change, then you can still do it. But just remember then those changes aren't in your version of the desktop. So it's, in my case, I rather go and make the changes in the desktop and save again and publish again. So that's my workflow. But just to say, it is possible to do anything to edit here as well. And then you can also go to file. Okay, I'll show you just now. Here are some options here below where you can ask those questions, data draw, text boxes and shapes and things like that as well. That's part of the editing. Just going to click on save. And go with the back button to go back to my workspace. There should be another way, but now everything's very slow. I hope something didn't go wrong now here. It's freezing here.
Marie, the network is very slow at the
Is it?
moment.
Oops, that's a problem. I've seen it in this service. Sometimes it is a bit slow because on the desktop you're not working on the network. It's on your own desktop. Any case, I'm just going to click on my workspace and see. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I don't know why that was so slow. Now I'm just going to research week final and the report. But now I can show you the semantic model. That's just the, you will see there's the research week final report and the final semantic model. Now, if I click on the semantic model, it's just to show the different tables. There's the different tables. From here, you can also share the model, etc. But it's yeah, it's just to show you what's available, the data that it's built on. That's basically what it is. If you go back, then I just want to open that report again, the report page. So for each thing that you save to the service, there's the semantic model and the report, basically. So now I want to quickly show you what you can do now with this data. If you, these top tabs here is what I want to show you. I've got now permission, I've got the pro license, so I will see more than you, just be aware of that. But you will see with some of the basics as well. You will be able to export. All these export should come up. Under file, it's just some of the embedding things that might not come up. I've got an option to publish to the web, and you might also not have that option. So this is just to be able to generate that web page that's public. But you can grab also the embed code. So if you click on embed report, you can embed it on SharePoint Online or another website or portal. Then you should be able to grab these links or the HTML, the code. So that's available there. You can download the file, but then it's the Power BI file. It's not, it's just the Power BI file. When you click on export, you can now analyze this in Excel as well, but we are coming from Excel, so we won't really export back to Excel, but you can also do that. What I want to show you with that is very, very cool is the PowerPoint option. So you can embed these pages as images on PowerPoint, but you can also embed the live data. And this is very valuable in PowerPoint. I just want to do this one page. You do it page by page. You can't do the whole thing in one. That's what I've gathered. But I just want to quickly show you this one page because this is really when you want to do now a presentation on your data. So for example, you can export this with the live data and you can do your presentation with the live data. Where you have the interactiveness available, hovering on items, seeing more, click on only 1 year maybe, and like this page will come up. So if I now click slideshow here, it's live data. So you can choose engineering and it will show only the engineering data. You can go back to select all You can click the branch, for example. Yeah, you can and hover on items and see more information. So this is very nice if you want to do a presentation with your data. You can also click on these. You should be able to click through on these. Yeah, you can click through on those as well. So you've only embedded the one page, but now you can show all the other pages from there as well. Okay, so this is really nice. This is for me one of the best features of Power BI, but you need it in the service, unfortunately. Yeah. The I just wanted to say quickly, in Tableau, for example, I haven't seen this option at all. You can download to PowerPoint, but it's images. It's not the interactive data, so that's really one of the advantages of Power BI. Okay, and then of course, if you click on an item, this is now what one of the ladies asked before, copy as image with caption. So if you hover on a specific image, you will see the options are sometimes a bit hidden. You can see it's now this you have to design carefully as well so that all the options comes nicely out, that you can copy and pin. Pin is to pin it to a dashboard. I will show you just now how to do that. So, but that copy button is what you will use to insert it in a Word document or wherever, which was not available in the desktop. So that's okay. Now I need to click allow. Here's your image that you want to copy. You see it looks fine. It looks quite good. Then you click on copy and open your Word document, and hopefully it will have the same nice quality. It doesn't look too bad. And then it gives you this as well with a link to open it in Power BI. So if you want to do that, you can also keep that in the image so that people can click through to Power BI and also view it in the report itself. Right, so that is answering that question that came up earlier. So this is quite helpful. But yeah, and then you can also share the whole report with typing someone's email address, but also also just sorry, I wanted to go to just copy the link, but yeah, you have to share it with specific people because it's internal, and I'm sure you are able to share externally as well. You just need to enter the email address, and then you will find the. Let me just quickly do that. I'm going to add Kuchner. And then you have the copy link. You can mail it, you can chat about it in Teams, you can send it by PowerPoint as well. Okay, so that's just all the options. Here's also the chat in Teams about the report. There's lots of other things that I'm not going to show now. I've shown the PDF part in the desktop that you can also do in the desktop, so I'm not going to show that further. Under file, there's also generate a QR code that you can link to this report, but QR codes you will only need use in printed material most of the time, and people can scan through and see the report. This might be helpful for posters. If you do a poster at the conference and you want to add a link to your data, you can do it in this way. That might be an option. Right. Is there a question, or did I hear someone, or not yet? I have 5 minutes to show you quickly how a dashboard works. Sorry, this is now taking a bit more of my time than I thought. Now, but this is very quick actually. The visuals that you want to put on a dashboard. Remember, a dashboard is a one-pager. It's a one sheet, and you can click on pin visual every time add the specific visual, pin visual, then it will ask you, I'm going to click new dashboard to create a new, the title. I'm just going to add one at the, because I've got so many that I can find it easily. Pin, and then say, for example, this one as well, pin visual. It's now keeping it at the one research week one, because that's the one we've worked with before. Pin that one as well. I want to also, I'm not going to go to the dashboard now. I first want to pin a few. I also want to pin the cards, because it's very nice to use the cards in a dashboard. And now some of the other ones as well. You can make your own selection of what you want to do. I'm going to just pin about 4 and then a few of the cards. But you will, of course, do this very strategically. And remember, it's a one-pager. So if you want to share your data in one page, you need to choose very carefully. It has to be a specific theme. The data should relate to each other, things like that. In this case, in my example, it will now be a bit different types of data and not one theme necessarily. So just keep, you can also pin the text boxes. Oh, no, sorry. It seems the text box in the image doesn't pin. it doesn't come up. It's only the visuals that you've built. Okay, and then I just want to do this last card as well. Okay, there we go. So now I can go to dashboard and see what's going on there. So I've added quite a number of things, and now you see these cards come out big, because it all the things that you've pinned is now the same size. But now you can start to move around and see what you want to you can make changes. You can move this around, take the cards to the left, make them smaller, things like that. So I'm going to keep that one. Now just move the other cards also up and to the left. So this is totally customizable, like all of the pages as well, just a bit in a different format here. Last card, do that in the same way. Okay, so that, and now you can also move around, make these a bit smaller if you want to. Oh, that looks actually good, because you save space. Okay, and if you click on one, it takes you to the report itself. So I've just clicked wrongly now. As soon as you click on one of the items, it will take you to the report from where it comes. Okay, and even, oh, now I've squashed the thing. Even if you share it with someone, it will also take you to that report when you make this a bit smaller. You will see, oops, I saw this with a word cloud before. It's not happy when you drag it smaller with a word cloud. You can see now it's jumping around, doing strange things. So it takes a while to settle when you do that with a word cloud. Sorry. So just quickly moving this one around. Come, so slow again. Okay. I'm going to delete this word cloud. It's now not, it's tiles. You call it tiles here on the dashboard. So I'm going to leave it just like this. It's not a very nice looking dashboard, but it's now just to show you how to pin and how to move it around. And now you can also edit this. So you have options to edit. You can add a tile. It can be image, a text box, things like that as well. I'm not going to do that now. You can change the theme of the dashboard. There's not many options here. You can also upload JSON themes, but the options you have here is light and dark. I'm in the light one. If you click on the dark, it's just a dark background. A custom one, you can custom your background color. I'm just going to make that a lighter gray and save it. But you can also do a lot of other style font colors, style backgrounds, things like that. So, but I'm not going to go further into the editing. And now just keeping with this layout. But now the way that you will share the dashboard, it's actually better for online use, I've discovered. So because if you go to file, you can only print a page. I can save a copy, but that's just save it in the dashboard format. If you print the page, it's quite difficult. You can see this is the first view that comes up. You have to now customize further. And I've seen that you can include headers and stuff that will come there at the bottom, but I prefer it not to have the header in. But now you have to play around with the custom scale to make sure you see this doesn't look good. That's maybe a bit better. Yeah, now everything shows up on one page. But all the I've already changed the margins before, so it keeps my default margin. But you cannot exclude those top thingies that's available. If you drag here, it just comes with you with the file, share, all those options at the top. So this is why I say if you want to print this, it's a bit problematic. You have to work very carefully. I don't have many visualizations here. If you have a fuller page, you might get into trouble to get it nicely printed on a page. So just wanted to show you that. But then you only have further the share option to share it with people online. So this is actually the way to go with the dashboard.
Marie,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
The next session is about to start.
Okay, I'm finishing
So
up. This is my
yeah,
final. Yeah. Thank
okay.
you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Ayla. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I'm sorry this took a bit more longer than I thought. I thought the 2.5 hours is very long, and then I get I got carried away a bit. But yeah, I hope you have learned a few things about Power BI, and you're very welcome to contact me afterwards to work with specific problems that you've experienced. And especially that map problem that the one person had, we need to look at that afterwards. Okay, thank you so much, and hope you enjoy the rest of the week.
Thank you,
Thank you so much,
everybody.
Marie. Bye.
Pleasure. Bye.